All right, so if you want to start distance commands, this is one of the ways that you can do it, is sending the dog to his place, asking for a command, and then helping him get there, breaking the dog, and then repeating it. So, Vito, place. Good. Now, instead of rewarding him, I'm going to ask him, Platz, Platz. There you go, good boy, break. And now I'll send him again, Vito, place. Good. This time I'll just reward him, place. Good. Seats. Good. You can see now how I'm kind of like working the dog into the behavior. Place. Good. Seats. Seats. And here I'm going to help him a little bit with the lead. Seats. Seats. Good. Seats. Break. And you can see it was a bit of an ugly sit break, but that's okay. This is how it starts. So we'll do it again. Vito, place. Seats. Good. And you'll notice that I'm using hand signals a fair bit, and that's because the dog definitely cues on hand signals. And of course, when we're adding a layer of complexity to something we're doing, we want to make it more easy. So this is obviously a sit, and this is obviously a down, right? So when you add distance commands in the beginning, you do this with the command so that the dog has two layers of communication. The dog's receiving your verbal communication and your nonverbal communication. Place. You'll also notice that sometimes, place. What I'll do is I'll just reward him for going there because I don't want to Platz. So here he's stuck, right? Platz. That's it. And it's okay, he can come off for the reward. Vito, place. Good. Oops. Now he's Platz. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for the sit, and I'm going to help him with the lead because he's probably not going to do it. Sit. Sit. Good. The leash was a little tangled there, but you saw he was still able to get to it. And that's the other thing too, is we haven't done too much transition from the down to the sit. Remember what I was saying? If the dog is only familiar with the transition from the sit to the down, and they've never done from the down to the sit, they're going to struggle with that. So that's something that you can work with separately. So in the beginning, when we start distance commands, this is one way to do them. I'm going to show you guys another way to start distance commands that's also kind of fun, and it's just a fun little thing that you can do at home with your pup. And I like teaching a behavior to say, what way should I use? Should I use the place method? Use the place method, but also use this. If you teach a behavior several different ways, right, especially in a fun, easy way, kind of like what we're doing, you're going to see probably the dog generalize the behaviors better. So I don't just teach things one way to my dogs. I usually show them several different ways to perform the behavior, and I come at the behavior from several different angles, and that's how I get a dog that really does what I want him or her to do. So find like a wall or a corner. I'm not going to use that corner because there's a little gap and the food can go in the gap. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw the food there, and I'll reward him for coming back. Try to get the food to land in the same area, okay? And the dog to start getting comfortable staying there, and I'll occasionally call him back. Vito. Good boy. And I'm just getting him used to kind of being out there. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a command. Seats. And pull a little bit. Seats. Good. Seats. Oh, yes. And you can see it was a little bit awkward in the beginning. That's okay, that's training. He really likes the idea of eating off the ground. He'll be a good tracking dog, that's for sure. Seats, seats, seats. Good. And you can see now he's very interested in being there. Platz, Platz, Platz. Hey, Platz. Good. And we're just going to do that a few times. It's over here. Look at it. Good. And if the puppy doesn't see, it's okay. Just throw another one. Platz. 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 Good. Plots, plots, plots. Good. Good. Plots. Yes! Very nice! You saw that time, he got it, right? By the way, guys, it really helps if you can do this in a corner. I just don't have a good corner in this room that I can use. In my house, I have a really fantastic corner, and the food just kind of stays right there in the corner, so I always can keep the dog in the same spot. And it's not always so clean cut, guys. You're seeing the process, the dirty process, where the puppy makes mistakes, where I make maybe some mistakes, right? Where things don't go always the way you think that they're gonna go. But that's how you get to clean behaviors, is by following a bit of a process. Seats. Seats. Good. Yes. Break. And I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about Vito, okay? He's very interested. He really likes the game of eating off the ground. And sometimes you'll see this. You're doing something with the puppy, and you'll be like, man, he really likes that. Some dogs could care less. It's actually kind of hard to get them to go and eat off the ground. But for him, that is so fun. So now I have a little trick. So now I can say sometimes when I reward the dog, it won't be from my hand. So I'll give you an example. Let's say he's close to me. Seats. And now I'll go reward sometimes by throwing the food. Plots. Plots. Right? So, plots. And he's like, really? So sometimes I can reward by throwing. And sometimes from my hand. So you guys can see, this is a game you can play. You don't have to do it exactly how I did it, but this is a little game that you can play to start teaching the puppy to conceptualize the concept of going away from you and performing positions at a distance. It's always easier, by the way, this floor is black in your house. Most people have some people have light colored floors. I have very light colored floors in my house, so they can really see the food. Use bigger pieces. That's a little pro tip for you. If you have a dog that's having trouble seeing it, and don't throw it so far in the beginning. If your dog's really struggling with the concept of just going out there, then maybe just work on that for a few sessions until you've got a dog that can confidently go out there. Seats! Seats, 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 seats. Good. And you can see there, I actually kind of threw it out in the middle of the floor, and he struggled a lot more because there's not like really somewhere stable to be, right? So what did I do there? And I wouldn't do this, I'm just showing you guys, right? I would keep him on the wall for a while or in the corner. In the beginning, do a bunch of reps there. And that was literally the first time he's ever done it, both on the place and in the corner. And you can develop it more from there until you got a dog, when he hears the command, plots, he goes right away, down, break. I don't want my puppy to come to me when he hears a command other than come. If I say sit or I say down, ideally, once you get to more advanced levels, the dog sits or downs where he or she is at. One other little trick that I didn't mention. When the dog does sit, so let's say seats, okay, he's kind of over there, throw the food behind him. So now he's not always thinking reward at you. A lot of dogs come back to you because you've only ever done the work at you, but you've also only ever rewarded here. Sometimes you can throw the reward, and the reward can appear over there. And now the dog's like, oh, paycheck doesn't only come from the hand. He can throw the paycheck, and he can end up behind me. So you guys see where you can go with this. This is a fun little thing I like to do with puppies. It takes a few weeks to develop properly, right? This is just the beginning stages. But if you keep at it, you can have a puppy that from 20, 30 feet away plots, and he'll lie down or sit, and he'll sit. Just some food for thought for you guys.